You selfish brat! Caleb exploded, his voice booming through the dining room of our rundown childhood home in South Portland. After everything this family did for you, Mom's face contorted, her shout cutting through the air. You'll regret this. Aunts, uncles, and cousins stared, their whispers sharp, eyes judging me like I'd betrayed them all. I stood there, 31, gripping my bag, heart racing but resolute. This was the moment I'd been waiting for, a chance to walk away for good. I met their gazes. My parents, who once laughed when Uncle Tom offered me a dishwashing job. My brother Caleb, who'd mocked me my whole life. His wife Lily, smirking. Like I was still the kid they ignored. What did you do? I said, my voice steady despite the fire in my chest. Raise me? Feed me? That's parenting, not a debt, and you made sure I knew I wasn't wanted. I turned for the door, protests chasing me. I won't regret this, I said, meaning every word. I'm Ava Lin, a software developer. At 31, I'd built a life my family couldn't fathom. 7 years ago, I left Portland for good, working as a back-end developer for a cybersecurity firm serving global banks and government contracts. I wasn't just good, I was vital, solving problems others couldn't even articulate. But to my family, I was invisible. We hadn't spoken since 2018, so when my cousin Zoe called that quiet October 2024 night, I was floored. Ava, your parents want you home for Christmas, she said softly. She was the only one with my new number. They've been asking around. They're serious. I sat on my small Boston apartment bed, staring at the wall. After 10 years, memories flooded back, always the odd one, never the favorite. At 15, I huddled in Dr. Chen's office, knees to my chest as he told my parents, Ava's struggles come from being ignored, not isolation. Mom scoffed. We love both our kids equally. She lied. Caleb, my older brother, was the golden boy. Football star, class president, magnetic. He got a car at 18. I got a thrift store sweater. That smelled like someone else. Christmases were no different. His gifts shone under the tree. Mine were afterthoughts. But this year they wanted me back, oblivious to who I'd become. Growing up, family gatherings were hell. Caleb commanded attention, charming everyone, while I faded like forgotten decor. Then I found coding, a flyer on the high school bulletin. Bored, Intro to Computer Science Club, Room 12 Tuesdays, changed everything. I went once and never stopped. Code saw me when people didn't. The club was my haven. We rebuilt junkyard PCs, swapped books, debated compilers, debugged late into the night. I built my first game on a borrowed laptop. Mr. Rivera, our teacher, pulled me aside. You've got something special, Ava. Don't let anyone dim you. By 19, I had a plan. College, leave Portland, build my future. Caleb was at a fancy Texas university, fully funded by our parents. I got nothing. At that Thanksgiving, Dad raised his glass. To Caleb making us proud at Austin. Cheers erupted. Mom added, as for Ava, we're pushing her towards steady work. Uncle Tom quipped, we're hiring dishwashers at the diner. The table laughed, parents included. I didn't. I'd already earned a full ride to a top-tier tech program in Chicago. Tuition, housing, stipend, all covered. I packed quietly, moved to a Lincoln Park dorm, waitressed part-time, graduated top of my class, and landed a dream job at a cybersecurity firm before my diploma was signed. 6 years later, I led a multi-billion-dollar integration for a global bank. The bonus could buy a townhouse, so I did. My realtor found the perfect Cambridge condo, 3 bedrooms, sleek kitchen, exposed brick near the park. At 35, I was a homeowner. 3 weeks before Christmas, I hosted a housewarming for my true friends, ones who'd seen me through all-nighters and broken code. We sat on floor cushions with Thai takeout and cheap wine, laughing among unpacked boxes. Nora raised her glass. To Ava, who turned silence into power. I smiled, but I knew I'd soon face my family. This time, I wasn't the invisible girl. I knew my worth. I took time off, wrapped thoughtful gifts, and drove 8 hours to South Portland. The house was crumbling, faded siding, wild hedges, a flickering porch light. I rang the doorbell, hands shaking. Mom opened the door. "Ava," she blinked. "It's really you." Her hug was quick, stiff. "You look different." Inside, the smell hit me. Old wood polish, stale air, dried potpourri. The living room was packed, conversations halting as eyes turned to me. "Look who finally showed up," someone muttered. "Is she in sweats?" I glanced at my tailored slacks and designer coat, quiet luxury they couldn't see. Caleb strode, in beaming. "Everyone, this is Lily, my wife," he said, pointing to her belly. "Your future niece or nephew." I congratulated them. He smirked. "Still coding in a corner?" Laughter rippled. My jaw tightened. "I work in tech," I said calmly. He grinned. "Tech, huh? Like fixing printers?" He turned to Lily. Ava was always the weird one, probably in a basement. I smiled faintly. "Something like that." Mom clapped. "Dinner's soon. Ava, Caleb's using your old room as his office, so you're on the couch." Typical. The night was a slow burn of condescension. Aunt Lila cornered me by the punch bowl. "Your brother's launching a business, a visionary. Still in computers?" "I write software," I said. She wrinkled her nose. "Someone's got to do the dull stuff." Uncle Tom leaned in during dinner prep. "Dishwasher jobs open at my diner. Minimum wage, but honest." "Thanks," I said. "I'm good." At dinner, they shoved me by the kitchen door. Caleb owned the room. "This'll disrupt everything," he boasted. "Just need startup capital." "How much?" Dad asked. 300 grand, Caleb said, like it was pocket change. I nearly choked, every cliche startup pitch I'd heard. "We'll figure it out," Mom said, patting his hand. "Family helps family." After dinner, she tossed me a blanket for the couch. Christmas morning, Caleb and Lily charged downstairs like kids. Presents towered. They unwrapped mine. Luxury. Gifts I'd picked with care. "Ava, these are beautiful," Mom gasped, clutching her new bag. "But my turn?" "Oh no," Mom said too loud. "Ava, we forgot." Caleb laughed. "Like when we were kids. Don't cry this time. You're an adult." I didn't waver. "I'm not crying," I said, pulling out my keychain. The steel glinted. "I bought myself a great gift this year." Mom frowned. "What's that?" "Keys," I said. "To my new apartment. Closed last week." Silence crashed like a dropped plate. Dad blinked. "You bought an apartment? With money?" "From my job," I said. "My company licensed a cybersecurity framework I built to a major bank. My cut was solid." Mom's eyes narrowed. "How solid?" I shrugged. $250,000 after taxes." Caleb's jaw dropped. Lily's eyes widened. Mom and Dad stared like I'd confessed to a secret life. 250,000? Mom's voice spiked. "What job pays that?" "I'm a software developer," I said. "I build security systems for Fortune 500 clients." Dad leaned in. "How long you been making this?" "Since graduation. Bonuses vary, but my salary's 7 figures." The mood flipped. Mom stood, all sweetness. "Sweetheart, why didn't you tell us? We're so proud." Dad jumped in. "Caleb, your sister works with Fortune 500 companies." Caleb's jaw tightened. Lily whispered to him. Mom sat beside me. "Tell us about this apartment. How many bedrooms?" 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, Cambridge, close to work." She beamed. "We should visit. Family sticks together." I nearly laughed. Family? After 10 years of silence? "Actually," I said, standing, "I've got a long drive." Mom grabbed my arm. "You just got here. Stay." Dad nodded. "We haven't discussed your career." I heard their urgent whispers as I packed. Downstairs, their forced smiles waited. "Before you go," Dad said, "let's talk Caleb's business. He needs capital." Caleb grinned like he was doing me a favor. Solid investment. Ground. Floor. How much? I asked. Just 300,000, he said. With what you make, that's nothing, right? I looked at them. Parents who mocked me, a brother who belittled me, a sister-in-law who laughed yesterday. No, I said. That's when the shouting erupted, the humiliation I'd walked into head-on. I hit the highway, my phone buzzing with calls, texts, guilt trips. I blocked them at a rest stop. Back in Boston, I poured wine and watched the city glow from my blog. Zoe texted, "Heard what happened. Sorry about them." "Don't be," I replied. This was their best gift, freedom. She sent a laughing emoji. "Your mom's saying you're ungrateful." "Let her," I wrote. I slept better than I had in years. Next morning, messages poured in, not from Mom or Caleb, but aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't spoken to in years. "Your mother told us. How could you abandon family? Caleb's building something. You should help. We always knew you were selfish." I blocked them all, except Zoe. She called. "Jesus, Ava. The family's imploding. Your mom's telling. Everyone you're rich and won't help Caleb." "Good," I said. "She says you forgot your roots." God forbid they admit the daughter they ignored made something of herself. Zoe softened. "I'm proud of you." "That means a lot," I said. "You're the only one I'll keep." "You okay cutting them off?" "Zoe," I said. "I cut them off 10 years ago. This just sealed it." That night, I met friends. At our Cambridge wine bar. Worn leather booths, fairy lights. I told them everything. "Good riddance," Nora said. "They sound toxic." Another friend asked, "Will you miss them?" I paused. "No, I've mourned the family I never had." This closed the book. I raised my glass. "To chosen family." They echoed, smiling. My phone buzzed, an unknown number. I silenced it. 8 months later, summer bathed Boston in light. I sat on my balcony, coffee in hand, watching the morning unfold. It felt like waking from a fog. Zoe called weekly with updates, not because I asked, but because she cared. "Caleb's daughter was born last month," she said. "Isabel." "That's nice," I said, hoping she'd be loved better than I was. Caleb and Lily were still with my parents, their startup all talk. Even relatives were bored of it. My parents made my betrayal their favorite tale, painting me as the ungrateful daughter who vanished despite their sacrifices. But my life, untouchable. 4 months after that Christmas, I met Lucas at a coffee shop near my office. A freelance designer with a warm smile, he understood tech and walking away from toxic families. He'd done it too. Work soared. I was promoted to lead systems architect for an AI security integration. The pay raise was great, but the freedom to create something groundbreaking meant more. My team valued me. My ideas mattered. 2 months ago, Caleb got my new number and called, fake cheery. Thought we could catch up. "What do you want?" I asked. "Isabel should meet her aunt. Things are tight. Mom and Dad's house needs work." "No. You don't even know how much." "Doesn't matter." He exploded. I hung up, blocked him, and sat in my apartment with Lucas, sipping coffee, feeling only peace. Everything they said I'd never have, love, stability, success, I built my way. Zoe said they turned my old bedroom into a nursery. It didn't hurt. That room was never mine. This one is. They tried reaching me through cousins, friends, Aunt Lila's voicemail. "Family is forever, Ava." I'd already moved on. Lucas and I planned a trip to Italy, learning the language, mapping cathedrals, bookmarking gelato shops. Zoe texted, "Mom saw your post, says you'd rather vacation than help family." "Good," I said. "Maybe she'll get it." Last week, I was promoted to head of engineering, top 2% salary. My boss said, "You earned this." We celebrated with friends. Nora joked, "Your mom probably felt your bank account grow." Lucas brought champagne to the balcony. "Let's buy a house," I said. Space, a yard, maybe a dog. Zoe texted, Mom says you're a drug dealer. I laughed. Let them weave their lies. I'm living my truth. If you felt unseen in your family, share your story below. What did you walk away from? What peace did you build? Your words remind me I'm not alone, and maybe you need that too. My advice, don't wait for permission to choose yourself. Build a life that mirrors your worth, not their expectations. If this resonates, hit subscribe.